My good friend, a devout Catholic, lent me "The Alchemist", first published in Portuguese in 1988 and in English in 1993. It's a spiritual and fable-like novel written by a Brazilian author, Paulo Coelho. It's a story of a Spanish shepherd boy's adventure. His parents wanted him to become a priest, but he wanted to travel, so his father gave him money to buy some sheep and let him be a shepherd. While living a life of a shepherd, the boy kept having a recurring dream about finding a treasure at the pyramids. The encounter with a gypsy woman and an old king convinced the boy to pursue his dream. He sold his sheep and traveled to Egypt. Eventually, with a lot of help and guidance from the alchemist, the boy achieves his goal. But the experiences that he had on the way were even more precious. At the beginning of his journey, the boy fell victim of a con man and lost all his money. Trying to find a way to keep himself from starvation, he came across a crystal shop and got a job there. The owner is a devout Muslim and taught the boy a few things from the Quran. Initially, the boy didn't tell the crystal merchant about his dream of the treasure of the pyramids. But after working for a man for a year, he confided in him. He also told the man that he decided to give up his dream of finding the treasure and intended to go home and become a shepherd again. The man responded, quote, "The fifth obligation of every Muslim is a pilgrimage. We are obliged at least once in our lives to visit the holy city of Mecca. Mecca is a lot farther away than the pyramids. When I was young, all I wanted to do was put together enough money to start this shop. I thought that someday I'd be rich and could go to Mecca. I began to make some money, but I could never bring myself to leave someone in charge of the shop. The crystals are delicate things. At the same time, people were passing my shop all the time, heading for Mecca. Some of them were rich pilgrims traveling in caravans with servants and camels. But most of the people making the pilgrimage were poorer than I." Unquote. The boy asked, quote, "Well, why don't you go to Mecca now?" Unquote. The man replied, quote, "Because it's the thought of Mecca that keeps me alive. That's what helps me face these days that are all the same. These smooth crystals on the shelves, and lunch and dinner at that same horrible cafe. I'm afraid that if my dream is realized, I have no reason to go on living." You dream about your sheep and the pyramids, but you're different from me because you want to realize your dreams. I just want to dream about Mecca. I've already imagined 1,000 times crossing the desert, arriving at the plaza of sacred stone, the 7 times I walked around it before allowing myself to touch it. I've already imagined the people who would be at my side, and those in front of me, and the conversations and prayers we would share. But I'm afraid that it would all be a disappointment, so I prefer just to dream about it." Unquote. That's the end of the crystal merchant's quote, and it really got me thinking. It's all clear to me that the message from the crystal merchant is some people will achieve their dreams, some won't. But what important is that we all need to have a dream. My life as a young woman in Thailand was very tough, but it was my childhood dream that gave me the strength to carry on. I told myself that I must fight on to see the day that I would realize my dream. But even now, I still have not achieved that dream. There's still more mountains to climb if I were to achieve it. But my life now is already good. I don't need to achieve that dream. Besides, I'm no longer young. So I tell myself to give up that big dream. I tell myself to live in presence, to go with the flow. But every now and then, I'm bothered by the thought of my very old big dream. I sometimes think to myself that it is this dream that makes me who I am nowadays. So I should honor it by making it come true. So this book makes me ask myself, am I the shepherd boy or am I just the crystal merchant? This is an easy reading book filled with profound messages.